Hey guys, welcome back to more AFK Arena. In today's video, we have a really nice post put together by the CN community about the Twisted Realm boss meta. Now, I love it when they do these because I ain't going to try and create these things, but I love it when someone puts something together like this because then you can just take a screenshot of it, save it to a file, and then just look at it and go, okay, that's what we're doing until someone finds something better. You know, if you're a copy pasta user like myself, but it's also just nice to get a bit more insight you know, into like their beast recommendations, level caps before you swap to something else, and all that sort of stuff. So, really good to see Shemira or Damia. I still suck at it. So we'll stick to Shemira, but she's getting some usage, which is fantastic. Her buffs just made it feel like she was Gunu. Now the other thing is, if you're just like a Scarlet user, like you don't have everything built, stuff like that, I find her really helpful in that, not that she 100% makes Scarlet not nuke people because she does have a cooldown between her ultimates, but she does save me a lot of times on my new account, on my free-to-play account if I use her at elite copy. I've got one copy on my free-to-play account, which is pretty far for chapter 42 or something like that, and even on that account, she can sometimes save me from the annoyance of Scarlet killing myself, but you know, it's just something that's not too bad, but great to see her in the meta, in best in slot in 3 of the teams, which is really, really solid. So I just thought we'd go through this quickly, have a quick browse at it, because it's always nice to get like updated sort of quote-unquote lists on this sort of stuff. Now, it looks like for most people, well, it depends. There are a lot of people at 15. My free-to-play account, which is 42, is still at like level 10 on Beast Resonance. So it's looking like if you have a level 15 deer, then you can go with this comp. Otherwise, it's the owl with Rem down here. And I think the Rem is a much more manageable one for people that got it. If not, you're looking at this one. But in general, these two teams, both not too bad. Something you'll notice, obviously, consistency is Twins and also Palmer. They're just two pretty much staples in not all the fights, but most of the fights. Actually, yeah, they're in all of them except Palmer's not in the Shemira one. So yeah, they're pretty much just staples across the board, which are two very good units to build at this stage of the game. Grizzle is another one that shines in pretty much every fight except for one. So it's great to see that we've got Twins who have always been a good unit, and then 2 standard faction units that really do rule the current meta of these things, which is really nice to see that it's not like you need every awakened hero to be able to do decent damage in these things. Now, obviously, Beasts are a thing. Like I said, without it, you can do the Owl, and then Mortis is going to be a substitute for Shemira in this one if you want to. Now, they also have all of the recommended artifacts and stuff like that, which is always good to see. And you can see, especially with Shemira as well, Damia, she, like, what's that, Warden of the Arcane up here, but then down here she's on the... Why have I had the biggest mind blank of my life? The book, what's the book called, guys? Oh my god, the Windbinder, is it? It's the Windbinder, isn't it? Surely. Let me scroll down in my game and see it. Yes, the Windbinder. Okay. Got it, nailed it. Oh my god, that was a massive brain fart. But yeah, you can see all the different artifacts that they are using. Pretty standard stuff. Twins on call. Then you got Chaos Bringer rolling in. Then we jump down into the Ice Shemira. Obviously, this one we're going to be taking in the Aziz because you want to get those early ults and you want to just completely lock out the Shemira from using anything so you can play the entire battle, not lose out on healing, not let her do the extra damage, all that sort of stuff. So Twins Aziz have always been a core. Back in the day, it used to be, what was the team back in the day? It used to be just like God Comp, where it was Twins, Aziz, Rowan, and Rosaline. I feel like that was the cycling comp that used to be used back in the day, and then whatever DPS. And I think it was even Saurus back in the day, because then you had some more sustain. Saurus was just the bossing unit back then. If you guys remember back in the day when Ice Shemira first came out, please let me know, because that was fun times. I remember playing that at work. Dude, that was ages ago. All right. Moving on from that, we jump into the Burning Brute. Now, obviously, this one wanting to be in the melee space. The good, I love it when they show these replacements. This one's obviously an expensive replacement, and I would say, and they obviously haven't listed it, but I still think that both Shemira and Solus are both pretty decent at like just a single copy as well, obviously they get way better. But if you have one at a higher ascension, test it. And then, you know, if they recommend Shemira here and you have her at Elite and say, I'm Soulless at like Mythic or Legendary Plus, or just a legendary copy, test them both and see what works best for you guys. I mean, like these are just meant to be like a rough directional thing. Everyone's account's going to be different, so definitely test it out and see what works. But then we obviously have Antandra as a substitute for the Awakened Athalia. Antandra doing really solid damage in the Burning Brute in general, which is good to see. The other thing I forgot to mention in here in the Ice Shemira one was the Beast roster, is that, you know, if you got 12, use the Dragon. If you got if you don't have him at 12, but you've got the Fox at 12, not the Fox, the Lion. It looks like a fox. How do they call it a lion? I do it every time. Use him, and then if you don't have either of those at 12, it's looking like use the birdie, but over here they just put him without a level requirement, so maybe that becomes better. Not too sure exactly how that works, but once again, something that you can just experiment with. Moving on from that, we have Kane. Now down the bottom here, they're showing that they're using, that looks like Soulless's awakened ability, because we are using 2 awakened heroes in this one. I would have loved to have seen some substitutes in this one, because we are using a pretty heavy team for it, but Baden in general is good, because if he takes the most damage, he dies and goes back to his other body thingy-mabobby, his tree body, his tree clone. So that's going to be the play there. Try and get the Baden doing the most damage, I'd assume. Obviously, Grizzle's skeletons do a ton of his damage, so he's pretty safe. Solus probably won't outscale the Baden in the burst, so I'm tipping that's the way we just play that one. I use Baden in mine on my free-to-play account because I have him max ascended, but I don't use him with the Solus. So, yeah, it's pretty much the basic staple there. Replacements, I mean, Taylene used to always be used in this, but I don't see Taylene on any of my leaderboards ever. Awaken Taylene sometimes in this, but on the leaderboards, what I've been seeing in Kane personally is that if you're not using the Baden, people are just using like 3 massive nukers and just like letting them die and seeing what damage they can get. That's what I've actually been seeing, but you know, if you have the optimal team, take the optimal team. Moving on from that, Demonic Nemora, this is that AoE fight where Solus is going to do a bulk, but then also we got the Estrilda in there. Estrilda has been staple in this, I feel like, since like 2 weeks into Demonic Nemora when people started using her. I feel like it took a little bit for people to start using the Estrilda, but then once she was in there, she was in there. And then obviously got Rowan for the extra generation as well, and then you just basically slap all those ads. There was a period where this was changing. There was... what was it? Chicken was being heavily used in here. We had, who else do we have? Morel was being heavily used in here as well. So this has gone through like many rotations that I've seen in iterations of what people have been using. But like I said, this is just one guide that we're looking at. So that's what we have. All right, moving on into the, the Grotesque Mage. Now, I put this into a really scuffed translator. So bear with me for a sec while I try and deliver this completely scuffed description of what this says here. I'll even put it on the screen. Let me just chuck it over here. All right, ready? Scuffed translation. So the start is turned on. So you put it on manual for the start of the battle. At 1 minute to 59 seconds, the Bishop and Shadow method is turned on. So that would be Palmer and Scarlet. Then at 50 to 49 seconds, the Gemini, Bishop, and Shadow method is turned on. That would be the middle 3 being the Twins, Palmer, and Scarlet, if I'm reading that correctly. And my logic is correct. And they're all turned on together. So that's 5. At the last... and the last card is full of energy around 40 seconds. Collectively open up if the Bishop is unable to open on time. He needs to change the horn. If the competition is violent in the middle, I'm guessing you need some heals and stuff like that. So ideally you want to do Scarlet and Palmer. This is just me interpreting scuff translation. Scarlet and Palmer at 1 minute to 59 seconds. If this changes, I'll put it in the pinned comment as well, guys. If someone corrects me. Then at 50 to 49 seconds in that window, you want to be activating the 3 of them. Then down the bottom here, the Magician's skills will clear. Our heroes gain heroes gain every 10 seconds. So the release of Nirvana Nirvana, I think, is the auto button. I'm guessing must be after the boss releases the clone. The later the first one is released, the higher the training requirements for the large pair. The last time the boss is used to release the skill, which is the clone which skill I don't know. If will not leave the field, so it will be released when the boss shakes the skill forward, release Nirvana, and strive to release 2 Shadow Nirvana skills. So basically, it's talking about the timing to release it. It's after the boss uses its final skill. Honestly, I've never played this that closely. The way I normally play it, because I'm not completely beefed out on my accounts, is when it looks like I'm about to die, I just put it on full auto. I try and optimize my twins and my Scarlet, and that's like the way I play it. I actually always use twins and Scarlet first and not Palmer, so I'm actually going to test that. But yeah, then I normally wait till it's like shit, it's looking bad, and then I just put it on full auto and see what happens. But you know, that's what we're looking at. That is complete min-maxi. Let me know what you guys do anyway. But yeah, I used to always just do twins and Scarlet priority, and then use everyone. But this isn't the exact comp. I obviously don't use Shakira and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to try that. I'm going to try this Palmer and Scarlet leading into the 3 of them. Leading into an all-out when I'm about to die, essentially, is when I plan it. I never see it that I've never played Grotesque Mage and been like, okay, I'm pretty fine here, and I'm just going to wait for this precise moment to pop my auto. It's like, no, I'm almost dead, pop auto. That's pretty much the way it works for me, but that is the Grotesque Mage as well. Once again, you got your beast recommendations and stuff like that. But yeah, guys, that is the meta at the moment, according to this Chinese post. Like I said, metas are only the meta until someone finds something better. So that was a pretty good rhyme. I'm not going to lie. I was pretty happy with that one. I didn't even plan that. I just heard it and I was like, that sounded pretty good. But yeah, metas are really better. Dude, I'm not going to try and say it again because I can't. I'm going to shut up now. Thanks for watching. I hope you have an awesome day and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.